The Hopewell was a Native American culture primarily found along river systems in the United States. During the Middle Woodland period ranging from 200 BC to 500 AD, this trade-centered culture was found along waterways from Florida to Canada, with a cultural epicenter in Ohio. The Hopewell exchange system brought exotic materials into new areas using waterways to be converted into finished products for export. Finished products include tools and fine art, utilizing these non-native resources. While some Hopewell settlements were smaller in size, with temporary housing, state-level society characteristics are seen in larger permanent settlements. One of the most important crops to the Hopewell was the sunflower, along with squash and maygrass. Perhaps the most defining characteristic of the Hopewell was their mounds. Many were constructed in the shape of animals, birds, and serpents. While many of the lower class were cremated, these mounds were thought to be burial areas for the elite class.
Our team of archaeologists here in North Carolina are fascinated with the Hopewell people. We are very interested in learning more about the smaller Hopewell settlements along rivers and lakes. Not much is known about these smaller sites, but it is thought that they are rest stops or temporary settlements for long journeys to trade with other peoples. After doing research on locations near us, we agreed on a location of land that is in accordance with Hopewell travel routes. We then began our investigation. We first conducted a surface survey when we arrived. We found some decayed sunflower seeds just under the brush. This was really important for our team because sunflower seeds were a staple of the Hopewell culture. We then found some broken up shells near the shore of the lake. Lastly, we discovered that there was a distinct area of elevation that was positioned right next to the lake. After evaluating our situation, we returned to the site to set up some shovel test pits. We continued to find ample amounts of sunflower seeds the deeper we dug. We also found some more shells and pieces of obsidian. These support the historical evidence of how the Hopewell were avid traders, and that this could be a site where the Hopewell people stopped during their long period of travel. Next, we took some core samples from the soil in the mound. The samples showed different layers, each with distinct coloring. This suggests that multiple kinds of soils and dirt were used to construct this mound. We decided on using a stratified systematic sampling strategy because of the possible significance of the mound. Here we have some footage of putting our artifacts and ecofacts in our paper bags. The artifacts will be analyzed later on and assessed for historical significance.
We also sectioned off a unit with stakes and string in the northeast corner at the base of the mound. We decided to separate our levels within the unit based on natural soil differences. When we tested the soil found in our core sample, we found loam, fine sandy loam, sandy clay, and silty clay. After clearing away the leaves and brush on top of the soil, we began digging. Within the first level, we found several bones, obsidian points, quartz, jasper, and sunflower seeds. We also collected several samples of the sunflower seeds to carbon date them. We also staked off several other units around the mound and lake where we found more animal bones, pieces of pottery, and seeds.
Phase 3 consists of expanding the test units out and down and site mitigation. After collecting all the artifacts we could find and accurately recording them in our journals on site, we filled our holes back in with dirt and cleaned up all of our materials. We concluded from our initial observations that this was a Native American Hopewell site, and it should be preserved and protected. This Native American site is an excellent example of a typical Hopewell community, and the artifacts gave us an idea of what the culture was like here. This site was a travel site due to its close proximity to the river. The remains of animal bones that had been altered by humans proved that they hunted and ate well. Mounds were built for religious or ceremonial purposes and became an important concept in their culture. Due to the increased use of bow and arrows, the Hopewell Society may have become more involved in conflicts with other surrounding Native American settlements. This possibly could have led to wars between different settlements and further isolation, ultimately resulting in the disappearance of the culture. A request was put in for this site to be listed under the National Historic Preservation Act. This site has been designated the Blumenthal site, and a plaque has been erected at the base of the main mound. This Native American site is an excellent example of a typical Hopewell community. The request for the site to be listed in the National Historic Preservation Act was approved thanks to the cooperation of the landowner and the protective legislation. People will be able to enjoy this site for generations to come.